Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and it's time to panic. Let's go ahead and panic sell. You want to do it with me? A veritable bloodbath in the streets today. Many cryptos down upwards of 10%. Hey, I'm gonna get into why. Look, it's Bitcoin, but let me tell you, there were indications that this was actually coming, and so then you look at the price action of XRP, and at the time of recording, it's okay, fine, down 9.8% within the last 24 hours. But it's not as though there's something fundamentally wrong with XRP. So I'm going to talk about that. I've got opinions from a number of analysts I'm going to share with you in this video. This article I look forward to sharing with you. Take a look at this headline. Crypto shock. Analyst says traders should buckle up as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP markets plummet 16.3 billion. Gasps. The room goes silent. I've also got this piece, though. I've got something positive towards the end. Take a look at this headline, okay? Bakkt hits new all-time high with over 450 Bitcoin futures contracts traded. It's a mixed bag here, a little bit mostly negative today, but hey, price is price, crypto is crypto. What you gonna do? Before we get rolling, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. Why? Because you might not hate it. And if you do, you can unsubscribe. Hey, you know, there could be worse. I want to be clear at the outset here, I am not a financial advisor. No financial background here whatsoever. I'm an XRP community member and enthusiast of the space. That's it. I like to share what's going on in the news and provide some of my everyday Joe Schmo opinions here. So let's go ahead and dive in. Just a little synopsis here. Market cap's at $200 billion, hanging on by a thread. They're going to dip below that, perhaps. You got XRP at 26.68 cents and Bitcoin at 7,432. Take a look at this. Can I show you the 24-hour chart? If you're not driving, take a look. If you are driving, don't worry. I'll just kind of talk you through it here. Plotting along. This is the 24-hour Bitcoin chart, and then it's like, well, fell off a cliff right here. And what do you know? Let's take a look at the 24-hour XRP chart now. Look at this. This part I'm highlighting right here, this is exactly when Bitcoin fell. So there you go, XRP along with the rest of the market tanking. And you can see XRP indeed is still moving in tandem with the price action of Bitcoin. I always like to highlight this when there's opportunities like this. Today is definitely an opportunity. So what I have on the screen right now, it's showing the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap. Now, take out Tether because that's a stable coin, of course. What are the rest of them doing? If you look at they're not literally the same, but look at the drop. Look at the drop. Happened on all of them outside of Tether at the exact same moment. They all responded. They're all moving in tandem to Bitcoin's price action. That's it, plain and simple. You'd have to be an idiot to not be able to see that. You know, you don't have to be I'm not a chart analyst. You don't have to be a chart analyst to see that. You really don't here. Take a look at this now. Let me hop along a little bit further here. There's another theory out here. I only saw it from this XRP community member, XRP Neo. I like reading his tweets. Got some interesting stuff to say. Not saying if he's right or wrong. It's his opinion, but he's saying that the price went down because Bitcoin futures expired, and that dragged XRP down. I'm not completely sold on the concept, but I like sharing different thoughts. Let me tell you what I think actually happened here, and let me show you this too here. So this is kind of funny, by the way. Let me say this first. So here's this article from AMB Crypto, and this is right before Bitcoin started dropping, and as a result, this article again came out right before XRP started dropping, and this title was quite positive. Take a look at this. XRP stays on track for massive gains in the imminent future. Oh my god, the timing. Now that is funny. I mean, I feel sorry for this guy. Nothing against him. But it's not his fault. And so I wanted to highlight this just to illustrate a point that I've made in the past, that there's something to technical analysis that's fine. It's not a crystal ball by any means, but it can, if you understand technical analysis, and I don't, I'm not going to pretend to, but if you do, it can help you to understand the direction that things might go based on certain metrics that you're tracking. And so that's fine. So even if the metrics tracked here made perfect sense in a vacuum with just XRP, the point that I've made in the past, and it's so perfectly, deliciously illustrated here, is that, you know, even if you're tracking XRP really professionally, really well, if Bitcoin sneezes, your entire technical analysis is kaput. It's gone. Like, all this is out the window. So what I'm saying is, and so it's not to knock this guy's technical analysis ability, not the purpose. His name's Akash Girmath. The point is that Bitcoin did something notable, and then of course XRP responded like everything else did. Now, had that not happened, perhaps the analysis here would have, completed the way in which he analyzed the scene. So, seeing it go, the way that he sees things would have gone. So I find that fascinating, though. But I talked about. So here's what I think, because I've been tracking. So anytime there's enough stories in a given day that are interesting to me, because I only share stuff if I think it's interesting. If there are enough stories about price action, about XRP and Bitcoin, the asset class, what I'll do is I'll take those stories and I'll clump them together and make that a video, and I'll just cover it all. And sometimes I go long periods of time without that if there's not that much going on and not enough interesting stories. Sometimes I'll have a few days in a row, perhaps, where there's enough interesting stuff where I'll make multiple videos in a row. Some of that has happened recently. And if you've been following those types of videos that I've been putting out, you may have noticed that I had cited from some chart analysts. Some of them seemed highly confident that there was going to be a pullback to 7,500. Some had said perhaps the low 7,000s. And again, as I record this, Bitcoin is below 7,500. So some of the people, just based on chart analysis, thought, yeah, this makes sense. It's not like something horrendously wrong has happened. It is people, panic selling and all that. I got it. Some people are very unhappy today. So there's lots of that. The most negative analysis that I saw came from a very notable trader. That would be Peter Brandt, who has hundreds of thousands of followers. He has a storied career in trading, or spans over the course of like several decades. He has a best-selling book on Amazon. He said, and he didn't say this will happen, but he said it's in the cards potentially for Bitcoin to drop down to the $5,200 to $5,300 range. He said it's in the cards, and that was as of a few weeks ago. It was really the beginning part of October. He was saying, but he was looking out X number of weeks and saying, it could be a what? Not that it would happen immediately, but he was saying that. And, we're heading in that direction. I don't know if it's going to happen. I have no idea. And we'll see how XRP, the price, would respond and, if that occurs. But so to me, in seeing this, I wasn't horrendously surprised because I've tracked enough of this. Even though I don't do chart analysis, I got enough opinions that I understood, okay, this is in the cards, might happen. I am bulletproof when it comes to price action. I'm not going to FOMO in. I'm not going to panic sell. It doesn't change the frequency with which I choose to buy my XRP at all. But that's because I'm a fundamentals guy. I'm going to let humans do what they do, and they can FOMO in, and they can panic sell, and I'm going to watch them do it because I know human nature, and I know they're going to do it. And if you look at the dot-com boom and bust, that's the most recent example of how humans behave when there's a frenzy around technology. And human DNA back then, about 20 years ago, no different than it is today. People don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm happy to sit on the sidelines and, I not just sit on the sidelines. I do accumulate, a little bit, but I only put in what I'm willing to lose in case I'm actually wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, but even so, I'm just gonna let humans do what they do and play the long game. And I don't care how long it takes, if it's a year or 2 or 5 or 10. I don't care what it is, whatever the timeline is. I am more patient than the rest of these people that don't know what the hell they're doing. So there you go. And if I'm wrong again, fine. I'll write it to 0, but I don't think I am. And here's another article too. So this is from You Today. And I'm not really going to read through this, but it was just interesting. Top 3 price predictions: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. And so this was right when Bitcoin had dropped just a little bit below $8,000. What do we expect from the top coins? So XRP wasn't quite down to where it is now, but again, things had started to drop a bit. And just about 24 hours ago, mind you, Bitcoin was at about 8,200, I want to say. Yeah, even that number cited here on the screen. So there you go. You can go down to the XRP spot here. And again, I don't want to read a whole bunch of this here, but states XRP could not rise against the fall of other coins as it did earlier. Its rate has gone down 3.5% over the last day, but it has almost unchanged over the week. The decline has made up only 0.03%. And again, this is before the big part of the decline, right? It says XRP has been in a sideways trend since October 14th. However, the last candle was bearish, having closed below the 4-hour EMA 55. This is a signal of a further short-term decline. Besides, other indicators such as MACD and trading volume index also show a price drop. Okay, so at this point, again, yes, they were saying XRP signals a potential decline, but it already was at that point. So just to be fair right there. And that's why, that other article I stated, this is before any of that happened. And again, without Bitcoin doing what it did, the prediction from this chart analyst was up and up and up. Take a look at this now. Crypto shock. Man, that's really attention grabbing right there. Analysts say traders should buckle up as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP markets plummet 16.3 billion. Oh my God, the world is ending, the sky is falling. Now how you gotta act? A sharp drop in the price of Bitcoin is sending shockwaves throughout the crypto markets. The top 3 cryptocurrencies by market cap, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, lost a collective $16.3 billion in market cap in the span of about an hour and a half. Yet the world keeps spinning, doesn't it? The aftermath has pushed every coin in the top 10 into the red, not Tether. Okay, now I'm splitting hairs here. With many facing double-digit losses. Check this out now. Analyst Josh Rager, sounds angry, says traders should gear up for more losses. He's outlining the next level of support at 7,200. Here's a quote. If buyers weren't interested in $7,800 Bitcoin, they're likely not interested in $7,500 prices. It likely goes lower with confident support at 7,200 and below. Even after a natural bounce there, it comes down to where large and aggressive buyers are interested. Take it level by level. And then the piece continues, a fellow analyst known in the industry as Mr. Anderson is tracking Bitcoin's time-weighted average price along with its exponential moving average. He's outlining 7,100 as a key number for Bitcoin bulls to protect. So for these two analysts, that number pretty close to 7,200, obviously. So they're kind of in line, it seems, right? Here's a quote now. Spot came within about $70 of its seemingly destined yearly TWAP touch as discussed in early October. The 89-week EMA is currently at about $7,100 depending on the exchange. This is a number that bulls must hold on a weekly closing basis. Right? And then Joseph Young, continuing the piece, Joseph Young is pointing to Bitcoin derivatives on BitMEX as the cause of just about every sudden move in the price of BTC. Here's a quote. What caused the price drop? What causes every big price movement? MEX. At this point, I think it's safe to say BitMEX is the biggest factor in the short-term trend of the price of major cryptocurrencies. Imagine if there was an ETF disapproved or SMTH, and that is framed as the reason. So there's a few opinions right there on just how bad things might get in the near future. But again, big picture, do you really think just because people are panic selling right now, this is all going away? Is Bitcoin and XRP even going to exist a year from now? Yes. So I'm just saying this, look, again, don't buy or sell or hold because of me, but I suspect that there are some people listening to this that when this type of stuff happens, especially if you're newer, you might be feeling a little timid, a little panicky. I'm just sharing with you my perspective because I just don't feel those emotions anymore. When I was new to this a little bit, when I didn't fully understand stuff, but now that I get it, no, not so much. Here's a headline from Cointelegraph. A Bitcoin price suddenly plummets to $7,500, a new 5-month low. Data from Coin360 captured the moment panic hit for traders on Wednesday. BTC/USD going from 7,950 to 7,450 in just 5 minutes. Look at that. Humans being humans, man. I'm telling you. The reason for the dip yet to become clear, but the volatility appends the most recent period of flat performance for Bitcoin. And then you can see down here they got a little subheading, altcoin follows with 8% losses. That pretty much speaks for itself. You got a CoinDesk piece, pretty much the same story. Why is that so zoomed in? Jesus, I don't know what the hell happened there. All right, 7,500 Bitcoin price tanks into 4-month low. They say 4-month low. Cointelegraph says 5-month low. I think that they should physically fight each other to determine who is correct. Bitcoin's low volatility consolidation has ended with a violent drop beyond 4-month lows near $7,500. The premier cryptocurrency fell by $500 in just 15 minutes. Okay, see, now they really need to physically engage in fisticuffs because they said 15 minutes, the other one said 5 minutes. Now I just don't know who to believe. This is the world. I don't trust the world. Anyway, so they say drop $500 in 15 minutes at 1250 UTC to hit a low of 7,500. The lowest level since June 10th, according to Bitstamp data. It is currently hovering at that price. And let's scroll down. I don't think that they gave... Yeah, they didn't... See, nobody knows what the hell... It's just... sometimes, seriously, I just... Me not a chart analyst, fine, got it. But I've listened to enough chart analysts, and many of them ultimately say sometimes it's not that something actually happens. It's more like... if you just plot how humans behave, like that's why chart analysts are able to make the determinations that they make. It's because part of the expectations are that humans are going to, you can kind of predict how they'll behave. Like just basically what they're doing. It's like, to sum it up, I hope this is an okay way to say it, it's like you're predicting the degree to which people will FOMO in and panic sell. That's part of it, right? I hope that's an okay, reasonable summation, but that's certainly what it seems like to me. And so sometimes traders that have been doing this a long time, they say, what's the reason? What do you mean reason? It's humans being humans. You know, that's pretty much the gist that I've gotten from a lot of them. But take a look at this piece from Cointelegraph. A little bit of positivity, at least in the headline. Bakkt hits new all-time high with over 450 Bitcoin futures contracts traded. Bitcoin futures volumes on digital asset platform Bakkt has hit a new all-time high with 452 Bitcoin futures contracts traded at press time. Per historical data from Intercontinental Exchange, which is ICE, the operator of Bakkt, today the platform has traded 441 Bitcoin futures contracts for November 2019, with the last recorded trading price settling at $7,400 per Bitcoin. 11 futures contracts for December have been sold, with the last recorded trading price at $7,407. So there you go, not exactly all bad, right? Twitter account Bakkt VolumeBot, which carries out live tracking on the platform, indicated that the amount of Bitcoin futures contracts is forecasted to reach 1,089 BTC by the end of the day. eToro senior analyst Matty Granspan also noted the contract volume surge earlier in the day. Bakkt trading volume hits a record high, 334 Bitcoin and counting, Greenspan tweeted. So there you go. Look, the world, again, I don't know if you noticed, if you just look outside, the birds are chirping, the sun is shining, or if you live on the other side of the planet, then maybe you can see the moon. I don't know, whatever. Maybe it's not too cloudy. What I'm saying is life goes on. Everything is A-okay so far as Moon Lambo can see. I'm looking at real-world adoption of Ripple, and that's mostly what I'm reporting on in my videos today. XRP adoption specifically, on-demand liquidity, taking hold the world over, corridors being built. Humans are going to like that for the long haul. So that's my 2 cents. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo!